Should I book North Shore or Waikiki? That's the question I get probably 3 times a week in consultation. And honestly, for a lot of people, the answer isn't what they expect. This is Hawaii Travel Made Easy. I'm your host, Marcie, and I can't wait to talk about the best areas to stay on Oahu. I'm packing for Oahu later this month. My 12-year-old and I are doing a quick trip, staying at the Hyatt Regency Waikiki Beach on points. Even after visiting Hawaii 40-plus times, I still get that same excitement when I'm booking where to stay. I've slept all over the island, Aulani multiple times, a bunch of different Waikiki hotels, even rental houses on the North Shore. Every trip, it comes down to the same question. What kind of vacation do I actually want this time? That's what we're talking about today. Not just, here are the 4 areas of Oahu. You can search that up. This is about how to choose the right area for your specific trip. Because the mistakes I see people make with this decision, they can mess up your whole vacation. Okay, 2 mistakes come up constantly in my consultation calls. First, people get starry-eyed about the North Shore. They see those incredible photos of the coastline, the chill surf town vibe, and they book a rental in Haleiwa without thinking through where they'll actually be spending most of their time. Then they land and realize everything they planned is on the other side of the island. Pearl Harbor? You're looking at an hour minimum each way, longer with traffic. Waikiki Beach? Same story. Want to snorkel at Hanauma Bay? That's an hour and a half. You end up spending half your vacation sitting in a car on H1. The second mistake? Booking Waikiki because it seems like the obvious choice, then getting there and feeling completely overwhelmed. If you're someone who needs quiet to actually sleep, if crowds make you anxious, if you hate waiting in lines and fighting for space, Waikiki can be really tough. The beaches are packed, the sidewalks are packed, there's noise at all hours. And look, neither of these is wrong to know ahead of time, but too many people don't figure it out until they're already there. So how do you actually decide? If you want more detail on some of this, go back to episode 43, where I compare North Shore versus South Shore, and episode 45, where I broke down the pros and cons of Waikiki. But here are the questions you need to ask yourself. Are you renting a car? Because if the answer is no, or you really don't want to, you're basically looking at Waikiki or Honolulu. Those are your only realistic options for getting around without a car. Everything else requires one. Where are your activities actually located? I want you to pull up your list right now. Look what you're planning to do. Where is it? Because if most of your stuff is in Waikiki, on the South Shore, or the Pearl Harbor area, staying on the North Shore makes 0 sense. You'll be driving constantly. But if your itinerary is Polynesian Cultural Center, Kualoa Ranch, Turtle Beach, maybe even North Shore food trucks, then yeah, staying up there starts to make sense. How do you handle crowds? Be really honest here. Some people thrive on the energy of Waikiki. They love having restaurant options at midnight. They want to walk everywhere. The buzz doesn't bother them. Other people find it completely draining. There's no right answer, but you have to know which person you are. What can you actually spend on accommodations? Hawaii's transient accommodation tax went up to 11% as of January 2026, so that's hitting everyone. In Waikiki, you've got options. 3-star hotels run about $180 a night, 4-star closer to $275, and 5-star luxury is more like $500 and up. Ko Olina is almost entirely luxury resorts, so expect premium pricing. And the North Shore's main option, the Ritz-Carlton Oahu Turtle Bay, which is what Turtle Bay became when it rebranded back in 2024, starts around $850 a night. Okay, quick rundown of the 4 main areas, but I want to focus on who they actually work for instead of just describing them. Waikiki is for people who value convenience over space and quiet. You're 20 minutes from the airport. Everything is walkable. You've got restaurant options at 11 p.m. It's perfect for couples who want nightlife, solo travelers who like having options, who like having choices, anyone who wants to minimize car time. You're also in a great spot for day trips to other parts of the island. But you're trading that for convenience. It's busy around the clock. Traffic is intense. The beaches are crowded. If that sounds exhausting instead of exciting, keep listening. The Moana Surf Rider is finishing up this big renovation right before their 125th anniversary in March. So that's going to be stunning if you want that historic feel. And the Hilton Hawaiian Village, where I've stayed a bunch of times, is almost like its own little world. You could spend days there and never leave the property. Honolulu outside of Waikiki gives you access to the city without quite as much tourist chaos. You're still close to the airport, and Pearl Harbor is right there. The Kahala Hotel and Resort is beautiful if you want something upscale without the Waikiki scene. Also, Alan Wong is opening a restaurant there early this year, which is pretty exciting if you're into food. This area makes sense if you have business in Honolulu or if you want really easy Pearl Harbor access without dealing with Waikiki. The North Shore is for people who genuinely want slower and are totally fine with driving for it. You wake up to green mountains and gorgeous beaches instead of high-rises. It feels more like Hawaii you picture in your head. Restaurants close earlier, things move at a different pace. And you're fine with that because you're planning to spend most of your time on that side of the island anyway. The Ritz-Carlton Oahu Turtle Bay sits on 1,300 acres with 5 miles of coastline. They're adding the Keiki Guidepost early this year where kids can do adventure activities. But you need to be comfortable with the reality that getting anywhere else on the island takes time. Ko Olina is straight up resort vacation mode. Those 4 protected lagoons are perfect if you're traveling with little kids who aren't strong swimmers yet, or if you want that super calm, easy beach experience. I've been taking my kids to Aulani since they were babies. The cultural programming there is legitimately incredible. The Four Seasons opened a new club lounge last year with upgraded rooms, and Ko Olina is rolling out new cultural performances in 2026. Here's the reality check, though. Ko Olina is expensive. You're 40 minutes from the airport. You're far from most Oahu attractions. This works best for people who want to plant themselves at a resort and maybe do 1 or 2 off-property things. It's great for multi-gen trips where you've got grandparents who want calmer water and little ones who need that protected swimming. Okay, you know what I hear constantly? Marcie, I read everything. I still can't figure this out. Should we do North Shore or Waikiki? Should we split our stay? What if half our activities are on one side and half are on the other? And that's exactly where consultation helps. I can look at your actual situation, what you want to do, who you're traveling with, what matters most to you, and what your budget actually is. Then I can tell you which area makes sense for your specific trip and why. Sometimes the answer is splitting your stay. Sometimes it's picking one place and accepting you'll have a couple longer drive days. But it's based on your trip, not some generic most people do this advice. Consultations are at hawaiitravelwithkids.com. It's $149 for an hour or $69 for 30 minutes. Honestly, it can save you from booking the wrong area and regretting it your whole trip. Look, there's no single best area to stay on Oahu. There's just the best area for what you actually want out of your trip and how you want to feel while you're there. The full blog post is at hawaiitravelwithkids.com, and I'm dropping it in the show notes, and has way more detail on specific hotels in each area, transportation, all that stuff. And come back Wednesday for my next episode. Happy planning and aloha.